AAA, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled 46,000 Nurses Strike, but Travel Nurses Betray Them. Let's get right into it.
I want to give a huge shout out to the 46,000, yes, 46,000 nurses and healthcare workers that walked out on strike this morning at 7 a.m. for a 5-day strike. This is across multiple states. It's 31,000 Kaiser Permanente nurses and healthcare workers. It's a bunch of other Alliance of Healthcare Unions employees. I think it's the largest strike in UNAC's and UHCP's history. It's nurses, it's pharmacists, speech pathologists, certified nurse midwives, nurse practitioners. It's everyone. And they are out there absolutely killing it and fighting the good fight because they have the courage to fight for what they need to fight for, unlike some of the scabs out there, right? They are out there fighting for safe staffing and all of the other things that they shouldn't have to fight for, but they are because they're courageous. And so I applaud each and every one of you. I would be out there on the strike line in California with you right now, trust and believe, if I wasn't recovering from surgery. I would give anything to be out there holding the strike sign with you guys right now. I am there with you in spirit. I admire each.
She's with you in spirit, okay? She'll be striking with you, okay? But she don't want to lose her job. Now look, everybody's striking. You need like you need unanimous, you need unity, you need everyone striking together. But clearly there's some nurses not going for that. And so she mentioned it earlier, the scab nurses. Now I've never heard of this term before, scab nurse. So I'm going to help you with it, okay? I found another video that kind of goes into detail what a scab nurse is. Take a look.
I was 2 years old when I found out there's a term called scabs nurse or a scab nurse, which is basically when there's a crisis response due to a strike. These nurses that take those strike contracts, like travel nurses, take these contracts. They're called scab nurses because they don't allow the wound to heal. And they just pick at it like a scab, and the issue with unit or core staffing never gets resolved because these scab nurses are going in and making things worse, which, first of all, I see both sides of the story. At the end of the day, have hate in your heart. That shows all about you and your job and your life and your mindset. But why are we calling these nurses scab nurses? Like, I never thought I would ever in my life hear nurses talking this badly about other nurses, and to go so far into giving them a title called scab nurses that is widely known. It wasn't until I posted this.
Now look, it doesn't surprise me that there's no loyalty, there's no honor amongst nurses, right? There's no honor amongst thieves, okay? I think first of all, to assume that all nurses are going to be a monolith and you guys all going to be Marxists together, because if you strike, you are a Marxist, okay? You believe in the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, okay? The proles. In my personal opinion, you know what I'm saying? If you want to earn more money or if you want better circumstances, vote with your feet. Just move on, okay? Trying to force an employer to pay you more or make changes and things like that, to me, you are a Marxist, okay? But look, y'all want to call them scab nurses? If they go the opposite way, I guess you guys all should think alike. Y'all should be one monolith. Well, you got scab nurses that they disagree with you, okay? They disagree with you. And now here's an example of a woman. She's a scab nurse. She's being attacked for being a scab nurse. Take a look.
So for those of y'all who are wondering about what video I'm referring to,
for those of y'all who have selective memory and try to gaslight people, that's the video I'm talking about. So yeah, that video, comments underneath of it, the comments that follow after, you know, y'all called me a scab, y'all called me everything but a child of God, because I said that it's inappropriate to have violence against other nurses, period. Whether or not you agree with striking or what have you, it's never been my place, it's never been my business to tell another nurse how to make their money, because I don't know other people's financial situations, and y'all damn for sure don't. I were you, and if you are a nurse from Stanford, I would be asking where that $50 a month goes that y'all are paying in those dues to your union, because the replacement nurses are the least of your worries.
She said, where your dues money going? Where is the money in your dues? That $50 little you paying every paycheck? Now look, violence, what? Oh my God. What happened to the sisterhood? Okay, it looks like the sisterhood was a complete myth. Okay, women stick together when it's convenient, but when it's time to pay back bills and loans, there is no unity. Okay, there's no unity, and they shouldn't be. Okay, like I said, women should not be a monolith. You shouldn't go along with bad behavior just because other women are doing it. But that's what's going on. And right now, there's a big splinter amongst nurses when it comes to this, okay? A lot of people don't like it. Here's some more nurses drilling down on these scab nurses. Take a look.
So, scabs are not in there because they need to put food on their table and feed their family. Like, be for real. Be so for real. These are nurses that can get a job anywhere. There's a reason that scabs purposely only specifically seek out scab contracts, strike contracts. They're opportunists looking to make quick money and hold no accountability.
Wait, you said a woman is an opportunist looking to make quick money and hold no accountability? Where? I've never heard of such a thing, okay? Listen, this is all women, okay? Now, this is where you are a monolith, okay? Trying to make money, okay? Opportunists, not taking accountability. That seems like the girl code to me. Every girl I met kind of fits that description. If you go on Instagram right now, there's something called an IG model that fits that description, okay? No accountability, opportunist, okay? Listen, ask Shannon Sharpe about it. He got scammed by a girl like that. Now, again, there just seems to be this big issue with nurses like this. And you know what? Y'all ain't gonna pay their bills. So what are you talking about? Oh yeah, they're not trying to put food on their table. That's not the reason why. Because I thought that was peculiar. Well, this girl has more explanation. Take a look.
When nurses go on strike and you work a strike contract or you take a strike job, you're crossing the picket line and it's called scabbing. Quickly dispelling the most common myths that scabs use to try to justify crossing the picket line. No, the hospital is not required to get replacement nurses in order for the nurses to go on strike. You're not helping the nurses who are striking. As to the what happens to the patient's argument, what happens is that they give 11 days notice to the hospitals that they're going on strike. And if they can't find enough people to cross the picket line, the strike never happens and the hospital caves into the demands of the nurses who are going on strike. If you're telling yourself that you're actually helping because somebody needs to take care of the patients, you're not. Actually, it's super dangerous for patients to be under the care of strike nurses because you never received an orientation to that hospital, you don't know where anything is, and we have multiple studies that demonstrate that the patient outcomes of patients who are under the care of strike nurses is like way worse. It's very dangerous for patients to be under the care of strike nurses. It's super ironic, actually. Like, everybody wants nurse-to-patient ratios, everybody wants safe working conditions, everybody wants fair compensation until it comes time to actually support the people who are fighting for those things. So, tell your friends. Friends don't let friends cross the picket line. When nurses go on strike...
I think it's so funny, again, that women are all trying to stick together for the benefit of the group, right? But you got to realize that y'all ain't going to sacrifice your own well-being for another woman. So how can you expect this? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And now I understand what she's saying. She's saying, everyone's saying that, oh, what's going to happen to the patients? She's like, F the patients. And that's why I told you, man, the hospital's not about taking care of you. It's about taking care of their pockets. They're striking not for better patient care. They're striking for better wages. Okay? And maybe safety in the work-life environment. I don't know. Okay? I don't really care either. Anyway, I thought this video was interesting as well. Take a look.
Dating in your 30s, it's starting to feel hopeless for me. So I went on a nice dinner date with a guy, and we're having pretty good conversation. Of course, he's asking the getting to know you question. So he asks me if I have any kids, and of course I say no, I don't have any kids. I ask him, oh, what about you? And then he says he has 3. I'm like, oh, that's cute. You know, I mean, every guy's, by now, I'm like, okay, everyone has kids, so it's expected. Then he says, we listen, we don't judge. And I just look at him, I'm just like, listen, we don't judge? What? He goes and he says he has 3 baby moms. Now, to me, 3 baby moms, that's a red flag. That's an automatic red flag. Because you had 1, 2, and if you're going for a 3rd one, that's, like, I think that's stretching it. And then he adds on to the conversation, I don't mind having a 4th one. Dating in your...
Oh, and best believe he probably going to get number 4. Because how did you get number 3? How did you get number 2? Okay, look, when you're a woman, you're dating, and if you put off, like if you went to school to become a nurse, and get a degree and go on strike. And now, after all those years, you're like 35 and you're looking to find a man. There's slim pickings out here, okay? This is why I'm doing so good on dating apps, because I've realized that there's very few men without kids at my age. I'm 37. There's a lot of men got kids. So when they look at me, they're like, oh my, I can start a family with you? Like, I could just sell hope to everybody in their 30s, okay? But a lot of men can't do that, and a lot of women are not experiencing men like that. So men, if you are in your 30s and you don't have any kids, you are the prize, okay? Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You are the prize. Now, here's a woman who's actually happily married, but she kind of breaks down what it looks like. Take a look.
I wish somebody was really being honest about what being happily married looked like. Me and my husband been married for 8 years, and I feel like this is the first year I feel like we've been happily married, if you know what I mean. First year, I feel like we had our walls built up, and honestly, if you don't ever deal with those things, they stay up. For one time, I was talking to my friend, and she's been married for like maybe 13 years, and she was like, man, I feel like I'm going to divorce my husband every month. And I was like, every month? And she was like, yeah, girl. So I went home and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But honestly, I found out real quick how much truth that was, how much wisdom that was. If your partner is not pushing you, right? Pushing your buttons, pushing these things, because your marriage, I've already said this, is not meant to have you being happy all the time. It's meant to make you holy, which means we're supposed to get closer to God, get more like him, be more at peace like him, be more loving like him, be more Christ-like. We are called to higher. And if you never get to that point where your partner doesn't just push your buttons, and in reality, when you pray, God, change my circumstance, and God changes your heart, that's the key to being happily married. You can look at your partner and realize you've been through all these things that were meant to break you, but y'all are still together. All these things that were really pulling y'all apart, but you still choose each other. See, all these things that were meant to literally still kill and destroy, and God's like, oops, swooped in every single time and brought y'all back together. That's what happily marriage looks like. Being like, honey, how can I help you? What do you need? That's the key about being happily married. It's not I, but we. Clock it.
Very scary, okay? Very scary that she has a friend who's also married, but she thinks about getting divorced every month, and she thinks that's what it means to be happily married, wanting to get divorced every month. I gotta disagree, and this is why for a lot of times marriages has no upside to men. It has a lot of benefits to women, because as far as I know, being married is the only way women can get divorced, okay? So, and divorce looks very good financially for a lot of women, okay? Most women who became billionaires through divorce, okay? But so, to me, she's kind of pointing out a deeper female psychology item, right? Feature, and that is women need dissatisfaction, discontentment, vexation, indignation to feel like they're in this romantic experience. There needs to be a climax. There needs to be highs. There needs to be lows. And I personally don't want to deal with none of this. I understand that women have to go through this, but I wouldn't want to deal with none of this. Can you imagine your wife says she feels like she's happy when she's fighting with you? So in order to keep your wife happy, you guys got to be fighting? I don't want to do it. Don't sign me up for it. No, don't call me. I don't want to do it. Hell no. Okay, it's not for me. Anyway, I thought this video was interesting as well. Take a look. Hey, listen up, Safe Squad. Are you tired of being ignored by women? Well, download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up. It's going to teach you how to master attraction, build unshakable confidence, and win with women without words. Because chances are you're not ugly. You just talk too damn much. So download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up, and take control of your dating life right now. Now let's get right back to the content.
The woman who has the man who is so obsessed over her is the woman who is so obsessed with herself. Okay, you have to be so obsessed with yourself, meaning from the time that you wake up, you're pouring your energy into yourself, you're doing your self-care routines, whatever that look like for you. You have a life of your own, you have your own identity that doesn't revolve around a relationship of another individual. You have your own family, you have your own friends, you have your own career goals, you have your own stuff that you're working on, and your relationship is a plus. Okay, it's a plus that's added on to who you are already being. Okay, when you love yourself unconditionally, you attract people who are going to love you unconditionally, because the relationship that you have with you dictate the relationship that you have with other people. And I was having a conversation too, to piggyback off of that, with somebody who didn't truly understand that the relationship that you have with yourself dictates the relationship that we have with other people. Majority of the times we think that, oh my God, this person is doing this and this person is showing up like this and this and that and the third. They're not meeting my needs. I cannot deal with this. This is too much. Is it that that person is too much, or is that person mirroring the fact that you self-abandon? Is that person doing too much, or is that person actually mirroring the fact that you don't take the time to actually truly understand who you are? And so whatever it is that they're doing to you, you think that is too much because it's something that you are ignoring within yourself. So sometimes it's not about the other person, it's more about you. And once people start to truly understand that relationships are about you more than it's about the other person, and you start to do the inner work to heal yourself, then the dynamic of the relationship began to change. Or you may become so unattracted to the individual who's in front of you because you have leveled up your mindset so much that it's like, ew, no, I can't deal with this. You'll have more energy, more power to actually walk away because you feel the freedom and the safety within your body, within your nervous system. So just ask yourself that question.
This is conjecture at best. This is conjecture at best. A lot of times women, they be speculating about life. Instead of going out there and trying to find answers, they just think of things. So, well, I thought to myself, yeah, if I'm obsessed with myself, other people are going to be obsessed. If I think I'm the king, other people are going to think I'm the king, because my delusion I have of myself is going to be the delusion other people have with me. It doesn't work that way. Now, look, at the idea that if you want a man to be obsessed with you, you got to be obsessed with yourself. AKA, if you want a man to be obsessed with you, you got to be selfish. We know what I know is selfish. Obesity. 75% of black women are obese. And guess what? A lot of men ain't obsessed with them, okay? They got low marriage rates. And to me, obesity is selfish because you clearly can't care about what your partner's going to receive. You clearly can't care about your family, because obesity is a comorbidity for virtually everything. So if you cared about your family, you keep yourself in shape. But if you're selfish, who the hell with the family, right? If you care about your man and the person who might be your partner in the future, you keep yourself in shape. But you're like, the hell with that. So according to you, if you want a man to be obsessed with you, just be overweight. Just be fat. And I don't think you have any evidence to prove that. Now, again, she says the relationship you have with yourself is a relationship other people are going to have with you. No, baby, you are delusional. And it ain't going to make me delusional about you. It's going to make me rational and realize you are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I ain't signing up for it. No, I'm not going to put the coin in that juke machine because I don't want to dance to that kind of music. Hell no. Avoid me, skip me, get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. Now, this, to me, is a very, very good video. I'm going to tell you why. There's so many layers to this. I'm going to break this down. There's so many layers to this. I'm going to break this down. Take a look.
On a date yesterday, and let's talk about why there won't be another one. Some background: we met on a dating app. He's tall, he's cute, he's a guy of color. Like, everything on paper was matching pretty well. Our interests were aligning, and he just seemed really sweet and nice. I typically like to give them a couple of weeks before I even say yes to a date, because a lot of times you can kind of tell a lot of things about a person before you even meet them. One of the very first reasons that I'm going to say no is because bro has lots of self-confidence and insecurities. And I'm not saying men with insecurities don't deserve love or relationships. That's not what I'm saying. However, I am in a point in my life where I have a lot of energy I'm putting into myself and into my interests and my career and ambition and all of that. And so I cannot fathom spending a lot of extra emotional energy on a man who needs just a shit ton of reinsurance. When we were trying to pick a time, I was like, oh, I'm running 15 minutes behind. Can you pick me up 15 minutes later? And he tells me how nervous he is and that he had to call his friend to pick out an outfit for him. And he was just like, oh my God, I've been stressing about. I understand you're super excited to meet me, which is, that's cute. However, I just you're stressing me out by you being stressed out to meet me. I just woke up 20 minutes ago. On the date, he was making a lot of self-deprecating jokes, making jokes about how old he is, about how he's not smart, how girls don't really like him on dating apps, or how he just thinks he's not photogenic, or blah, blah, blah. Clearly looking for me to give him compliments, being no, I think you're super smart. I think you're super cute. And so that itself, I clocked immediately. He wanted me to go through his entire profile because he just assumed that no one would listen to any of the things that he put on there, like the voice prompts, which is literally of him singing. Basically wanted me to tell him that he has a nice voice. Another thing, I had to like lead him as we were driving. He almost turned into a one-way. You can't make a decision whether you want to park on the street or go into the parking garage. Like, I have to make that decision for you. He didn't book a reservation, so we had to wait 45 minutes for lunch and then ended up not even going there, picked a different place. And on the way, he's like, we can go anywhere, I just really need a potty. Sir, excuse, like, oh, I do not want to hear this right now. It was very gentlemanly. Like, he was, really chivalrous. He tried opening my door. It was locked, so I was like, it's fine, I can open my own door. So we had to go back around just to unlock it. It was kind of awkward. And then he, like, pointed out the sidewalk rule. He's like, I don't know if you know that, but, like, I follow that rule. And I was like, okay. He tried explaining to me what that was. You could just tell that it was somewhat performative to try to get brownie points. Another thing is that he just kept reiterating he couldn't believe that I was single, when I don't know if he necessarily realized that being single is a choice sometimes. Like, I'm choosing to be single. I have been single because I wanted to be, and it's not like there's something wrong with me. But he would always just say, like, I just can't understand why you're so single. You're so funny, you're so cute, but like, are you like secretly crazy or something? That's a weird thing to say. We just really had no chemistry. I just don't think his kind of personality is what I'm interested in. If he kept...
This is so funny. This girl is a nerd. She's a lame. She's a loser. I'm telling you. She's not the it girl. She's not the girl that everybody's running to. And she's honestly a regular 5. Run-of-the-mill 5. Long hair. She's a brown girl. Shout out to the brown people. But she's not the it girl. Okay? She looks like she's slim. Might have a decent body. I don't know. But she breaks down a real issue in society right now. And that real issue is the men are feminine. Okay? And this is what I want to say. Women, you have asked for this. You wanted a man who's in tune with his emotions. He's showing you how he feels. You want a man who's honest. You want a man to open up to you, but you're disgusted by it. You feel like there's no chemistry. Let's go down the list. You said he has self-confidence and insecurities. Sounds pretty feminine to me. He's emoting. He said he's nervous he had his friend help him pick out an outfit. Okay? He's telling you the honest truth. Self-deprecating jokes. Okay, that means he's pretty humble, if not below humble. You guys always say, oh, men need to humble themselves. I can't stand all these narcissists that think so highly of himself. This guy's not a narcissist. He sings on his dating apps. Okay, he's connected to his feminine side. He's indecisive. Okay, he needed you to give him directions. Okay. All these things. He pointed out the sidewalk rule that you thought was a performative, but you said he's also chivalrous and he opened up doors. So he's a nice guy. He emotes. He's honest. He shares his emotions with you. And guess what? You don't like him. You don't feel a connection. Women, y'all say one thing, but you do another every single time. And here's an example of it. She's probably liberal. He's probably liberal. She grew up in a feminist society. He grew up in a feminist society. They're both the outcomes, and they don't match. Guys, this is what the billionaire perverts wanted to happen. In order to control society, they created chaos amongst the pros, okay, the regular folks. They created chaos amongst us, and now we can't get along. No one's having kids. The birth rate's declining. Nobody's getting married. Somebody has played a big joke on us, and they're laughing. They're laughing because we fell for it. You don't want a man that's feminine, emotes, none of that stuff, but you run around saying it because feminism told you to say it. Just keep that in mind, ladies. Keep that in mind. All right, one last video. I thought this video was very interesting. Dana D's talking about a 30-year-old virgin who became a single mom. Take a look.
The 30-year-old virgin, the woman who held out being a virgin for 30 years just to end up being a baby mama, y'all going at her. Y'all on her neck. I thought y'all was going to be on her side. I thought y'all was going to have some sympathy for her. But here's what I got to say about it. Listening to her talk, I feel like her being a virgin, it was really only because the right opportunity didn't present itself until it presented itself. Like, there's no way you went that many years if you being a virgin was built off standards and boundaries. And I say that because when it's built off standards and boundaries, you would have required more in order to give that man the most precious thing that you've been holding on to for that long. But if it was just a situation where the situation just never presented itself to who you wanted to give it to until you turned 30, that's a different story, right? This guy who took her virginity, I'm willing to bet this was something she really liked. Like, he physically might have been what she really liked. It was something about him that was different from everybody else who tried. And that's the reason why she gave it up to him. It wasn't because she had all of these standards and boundaries that kept her being a virgin for that long. It was just the right man never presented himself until that time. And unfortunately, the man who presented himself at that time wasn't a man who was wanting to take her serious. It was just a man who just wanted something to do, right? And so she ended up getting pregnant and she ended up being a single mother. But this was not a situation of a woman who held out her virtuous virginity because she was waiting to marriage and she wanted to find the right person, and that's why she wasn't gonna have sex until the end. No, if that man had have probably found her at 25, she would have gave it up at 25. If he had have found it at 22, she would have gave it up at 22. He was just the man that she was willing to give it up to.
You know, Dana D, you know, to me, you know, sometimes she's right, sometimes she's wrong. All the time she's goofy. To me, I don't know the story about this 30-year-old virgin, so I'm relaying it through her. I just found this video. I thought it was very interesting. She's talking about a 30-year-old virgin who became a single mom. That's a pretty interesting topic to share with you guys, right? You know, it doesn't really matter who it is, what it is. But, you know, yeah, you waited that long, and the first time you had sex, you became a baby mama. That's hysterical. I don't know what race she is, but I'm going to guess that she's black. I'm just going to guess that she's black. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to guess. I don't know. But this kind of reminds me of Lolo Jones. Remember Lolo Jones, the Olympian? She's in her 40s right now. She's still a virgin waiting for marriage. And she probably can't even have kids. She overplayed her hand. Overplayed her hand. Look, virginity matters up to a point. Up to a point. If you're old and you're a virgin, you're laughable. Okay? We have pity for you. Okay? Keeping your virginity till marriage, that makes sense. But you know what? If you get married in your 20s, but if you're still 40s, keeping your legs closed, girl, ain't nobody want that no more, right? That's like trying to sell a brand new car 20 years after it came out for the same price. It ain't gonna work. No one's gonna, you gotta discount this thing. No one bought it 20 years ago when it's brand new. No one's gonna buy it 20 years now when it's an old brand new car. Just think about that. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. The channel's blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos. Become a member of the channel. I'm about to start doing live streams again. I think Thursday might be a good day. Let me know if Thursday is a good day for live streams. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see y'all over there.